So see you later. I'm gonna come back over. Okay, so remember the only time
we got to see some very interesting artifacts in the gallery, but they were all behind glass, right? So we really couldn't touch them. We just got to look at them and hear about them. Well, now we're going to let you handle some items that were important in the everyday lives of the people. You know what this is called?
A lasso.
A lasso?
I see that.
What would they do with the lasso?
It's
Let's raise your hands, okay? Swing it around and they would rope an animal. And remember the saddle we saw how it had that very large, it didn't have a small horn, it had a very large horn, I guess what they call it. And then they would wrap this around. Would anyone like to take a guess as to what this is? Yes.
I would look like the skin of a cow.
Cowhide. Good job. That's exactly what it is.
Because it's been treated, so it's all soft and supple. But what is it like before it gets tanned?
Oh, this feels so weird.
Have you heard the term rawhide?
Yeah.
This is rawhide. This is the skin of a cow before it has been treated.
Have you ever seen rawhide before?
No.
Yeah,
They make dog shoes out of it.
Yeah. Sometimes dog as a treat for them. So as you pass that around, would anyone like to take a guess at what this is? Yes.
it's like
Right, it's a branding iron.
on the
So
table.
just imagine. Okay, pass it down, pass it down.
That would make a neat coat. And it gets red hot. And then, oh, poor Teresa. Yes.
It's like
Nowadays, actually, they're trying to get away from this. There's other techniques of branding cattle. Because if you've got thousands of cattle, you need to know, and they're in an open range, you need to know which one belongs to you and which one belongs to the ranch next door. So in the old days, they used brands. And they still use them now, but now they're also trying to chip their ears and things like that.
What is this? What do you think?
Yes.
Oh, wait. It is a very heavy weight. It can be used as that, but it also has another function.
Oh, I don't. When they go to the house, they.
Oh, it looks so bright, doesn't it? But it's actually something else. Yes, an iron straighten out their clothes. And in order to straighten out and iron their clothes, they would see this was probably the very first mitten. That's
I thought that was like for our
protection, right? Protection for your hands.
I thought that was for like.
So we talked earlier about the fact that they did not have air conditioning, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have what?
Oh, electricity.
Electricity, right. So that means they didn't have any lights, right? No lights. So when it got dark, they couldn't see anything unless they had a candle. So this is how they made their candles. They would put in the wick, and yeah, I'll go ahead and take that thing.
I thought that was for like metal.
And they would pour, what was the substance that was made out of?
Wax.
Wax.
Yeah, what did they have? They had a lot of cattle. So they used fat from the cattle. It's called tallow.
Oh, beef tallow.
Yeah. Which is like oil, fat, right? And so they used beef tallow.
They pour it in, and once it hardened, they would just pull it right out, and this is what they would have. Right?
Although that handle is not tallow.
Yes, that's right.
No,
How do they make it wet? Well, you know what? They probably were flat, but we have a candle like we use today.
that looks like a firework. We feel that kind of glow like candles. It's like
light a log on fire? No. What would you start with, you think?
Don't do that.
If you got a spark, what would it wouldn't light a log on fire. So you have to start with what? Maybe some sawdust or some little bit of twig. Okay.
Okay, so the first round. Okay, why don't you count this to the start?
What? Let me tell you guys, I've never seen anybody actually this far. Fire alarm! Fire alarm! Excellent, you guys.
Cái là gõ cái nó chẹt lửa ra luôn. The first time mà mọi người thấy nó chẹt ra lửa, cây L đã làm chẹt ra lửa 3 lần.
You can talk with Belle.
Okay, guys. Whoa. What's this?
A horn.
From a
Buffalo.
Actually, it's from a steer. One of those
steer?
Yeah.
Are you a cow?
Now look, they used a lot of, the most important thing in the cattle was their skin. They were actually, as a nickname, they were called the California dollar.
Dollar? Oh.
Yeah, I guess that's what they traded in. And they would like have all of these cattle skin, but they were raw, so they were stiff. Here's what I remember. Slow means I'm married, so like, And fast means I'm engaged, so I'm not really available. There's a I had a list. I was just thinking that.
Wait, how do you do that?
Now, obviously, what do you suppose the sign was for I like you? Make one up.
I like this.
Think this would be good for I like you? And what about the one that's like, meet me later?
What's
What's one for meet me later?
like halfway.
Oh, that's good, meet me later, okay. What is like, what would this be?
No, don't do it.
Don't do it, what? Done, maybe could be, okay. So there's a whole language, and I guess, how would you learn it? Do you suppose your mother or your older sister would teach the girls? Yeah. But let me ask you a question. If the girls were using this language, boys, would you have to learn the language too? Maybe so that you could understand, right? Okay, all right. So there was a whole language of the fan. So the fact that we saw the fan in there that belonged to Piopica's sister, that was important. She had her fan, and since she was married, she would just go like whoa, right? Okay. Catherine, let me tell you something. This is a noisemaker. If you don't have a whistle and you want to get people's attention, if you have a festival, it's New Year's Eve and you don't have fireworks. That is very loud. Now then, boys. If you want, you can all try. Now then, hey.
I have a hot club.
All you fashion people, does the opening go in the front or the back?
Back.
I don't know. What do you think? And does the opening go? Oh yes, because of the V neck, right? Okay. There you go.
Cái lên nhìn mẹ nè.
All right, girls. Who's got long hair? You?
I have one, you.
I don't know. You need to stay. You need a bun. I think you need a bun, but kind of. Now what happens is you put the comb first, so that the this is on top of the comb. Wait,
it's really hot.
Okay, sorry there. It's still okay. you're going to mass in Catholic Church, you would be wearing this. There you go.
That's big number.
Isn't that huge?
Yeah, that's bigger than I
This one, look, I'm not sure what this is made from. This one looks like it might have been made from plastic. However, they would make these out of, what do they make them out of? They might make them out of corn, they might make them out of turtle shell.
Wow.
What do you think this is?
Cái tí
And they actually, that would be a tree that they wrap over the one end around and the other end around. Does this look like the clips that you find at home?
Yes.
Something different. No, this is what they would do. Yeah. Right?
And the cowboys or the carols, they would, in the evening, sitting by the campfire, they would actually carve these in their spare time. Okay.
Okay, good job. Good man. Thank you very much.
A gravel. Because sometimes they use something to like if there's something very hot, they use that to grab.
Oh, it looks kind of like it could be a tong, but it actually has a different purpose. Have you ever clipped your nails?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
well, this is for a horse's hoof. That's why it's so big and heavy, and they would use this to trim their nails.
You can pull someone's ear
Trim their
And
hooves.
then they would take a file and